Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls and Rockingham. It's Mike and Marty, and this is the feed. It's Wednesday, September 7th. Kids have gone back to school. We've been officially over summer now, or
I don't think
unofficially.
we're fully over summer, yeah.
I'm not over summer.
I think there's
but
some
boys,
residual summer left in us.
Yes, but I
You never
think
get over summer in New England.
That's true.
We
You
look
always
forward
wish
to
for
it all.
summer.
Yeah.
All season.
Today we have a guest, Ryan Coyne. He's running as an independent for state representative, and we'll be talking with him in a minute. But first, Marty has local events.
First thing, I want to give a huge shout out to the Wild Goose Players. They did their Free Follies event this past weekend, down at the Waypoint Center. And it was a really nice event. I went down on Sunday to the Sunday morning performance, and they did a nice group of songs. They had like a big trunk of costumes, and they changed their costumes depending on the song, and it was very family friendly, appropriate, and it was nice to see there was a good audience of families there and kids sitting right up front with the big wide eyes and the whole bit. So huge shout out to David Stern and all of the Wild Goose Players for that event and making that event open to the public with the help of Rotary. So at the Bells Falls Opera House this week, finally we're getting Where the Crawdads Sing.
Then you saw this already, right?
I did see it.
Do you have a review?
I thought it was very good. I thought it was pretty true to the book. The beginning, they skipped over quite a bit of the beginning part of the book. The book, I think if you tried to make the entirety of the movie, you couldn't keep it to 2 hours. So they skipped over a lot in the beginning. They gave you the gist of it, and then they went to the heart of the story. And I think it was very close to the book.
Great.
So I would highly recommend it. Bells Falls Opera House playing from now until the 13th, which is next Tuesday. The classic movie tonight is part of the diversity series that the Bells Falls Opera House has been offering, and it's the movie Wonder, which I don't know anything
know.
about that.
Yeah,
Julia
either.
Roberts and Owen Wilson.
Wonder.
I'm assuming that's maybe the name of.
Sounds like a love story, no?
No, I don't think it is. I
Oh.
think it's a family story.
Okay.
And that's sponsored by the Bells Falls Baptist Church, and because it's part of the diversity series, tickets are only $3 tonight.
Oh, nice.
So well worth checking it out
Well,
to
that
see what it's
sounds pretty
about.
good. I was
Yeah.
thinking recently of all the movies we see, if you think back a couple years, chances are you can't remember the name of them. That's how many movies don't make much of a mark in our
That's true.
imaginations or what have you.
But then some, it's like books, then some really stay with you.
Yeah, Forrest Gump, so many. Yeah, some are exceptional.
Friday night down in Putney at Next Stage Arts Project is the Vermont Comedy All-Stars Stand-Up Comedy Show. And if you can say that 5 times fast, I think you get a free ticket.
All right.
$12 tickets in advance and $15 at the door. It's at 7:30. You can go to Next Stage Arts Project's homepage and you can get tickets. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
It seems every once in a while we get a wave of comedy things coming. Like we have the Comedy Divas coming in November to the Opera House. Speaking of the Opera House, I'm once again plugging Overflow the Opera House on September 22nd. That's a fundraiser for Our Place. Traditionally, they have filled the Opera House with bags of food in each seat. And this year they're asking folks, if you can, to do a monetary donation of $25 to buy a seat. You can actually do that very easily through the Opera House's website. You go right to bellsfallsoperahouse.com, the website, click on events, and it'll lead you right to the link to donate that $25. And of course, we have the Southern Vermont Flannel Festival coming up.
Coming up soon. We'll have to
Yeah.
maybe get Charlie on.
We will. I was thinking
Yeah.
about that. We should probably have
Or
Charlie in to
Deb,
talk about
yeah.
it, Charlie or Deb, to see what's new this year. Each year they make it a little bit bigger, a little bit better. They, any festival like that, each year you do it, you improve on it because
Yeah,
you learn
yeah.
from your past mistakes. So mark your calendars for October 15th and 16th. And that is all of my local events.
Okay.
today.
Well, I have one. I'd like to always, yeah. If you're not going to Wonder tonight, you might want to go to Royalton, where Tuba Skinny is playing. My favorite New Orleans band is actually in Vermont, doing a free concert on the green in South Royalton. Sue and I are going to head up from 5 to 7 tonight.
Nice.
So, yeah, they're doing their swing through New England. They were in New York, upstate New York, the last several days, and they're going to be in Royalton tonight. So if you get a chance,
You've done videos of Tuba Skinny before,
I have.
haven't you?
I
So I thought,
saw them
okay.
in Burlington at the
Okay.
Fistful of Fools last year, and then
Okay.
I saw them on the play on the street in New Orleans. They're just really cool. So anyway,
And
that's
we're in
mine.
South Royalton's not really that far away.
No, it isn't.
We think of it as, oh my God, it's so far north,
it's
but it's
about an
not.
hour.
It's
I
about
think.
an hour, yeah.
I was just going to ask you if you originally saw them in New Orleans. I was guessing you probably did.
Yeah, that's what got me hooked on them. I saw them on the street, and then I
Bourbon
saw
Street
them
somewhere.
Actually Frenchman Street.
Okay.
And then
as far as Frenchman Street goes, I've been to Bourbon Street. But
yeah, well, I think they intersect.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
So
All right. Okay. Huh. Interesting.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Sure.
But I saw them there, and I saw them at a place called a club called DBA in New Orleans, and then I saw them at Festival of Fools, and I'll see them tonight. So anyway,
Nice.
they have
I
an
think-
odd following. I posted a video of theirs, and it's gotten like I want to say 170,000 views.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, from all over, like
Well, it work has.
Germany and Europe, especially in Europe. It seems like they have
Well,
a much bigger following
I
there.
think, like New Orleans music has in general a very big following. We just aren't as savvy about it up here in
Yeah,
New
I
England.
think, yeah, I think that's
So I
true.
think that I mean, maybe there are more people than we know because, well, you had that Cajun band on, the Zydeco band last week, right? Like,
Yeah, well, that was actually I've been watching because I started following them on Facebook. Mango Jam,
Mm-hmm.
they play a lot up in northern Vermont. They were really pretty good, so they would
So
be
maybe
another.
there's a bigger following than we know
Yeah,
of in
that's
Vermont
what I
for
was.
that kind of music.
And like you and I were talking last week, they seem to have a following of people who dance. There's
Mm-hmm.
a style of dance, and I know that when we were in Brattleboro, they had laid out a floor, a dance floor, and then these people danced the whole time. It was really interesting.
It's kind of almost like a contra dance kind of dance,
Yeah,
or sort of.
it's not a
it's not
line
really
dance
contra
thing,
dance,
but
but
it's
kind of a.
two. They call it
specific.
the people there called. There were two. They had a two-step, like a Texas
Mm-hmm.
two-step, but also a one-step. They called it, and I didn't quite. I don't know the differences, but. And plus they had a waltz, but everybody was waltzing,
Nice.
and that was pretty cool. So
Nice.
All art stuff tends to flow into Vermont eventually, doesn't it? At least if it's.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have
Collect
an
it here.
art-centric community. Especially, we're hoping to promote that in Bellows Falls. That's one of our missions. I think. I don't know if
I think we
It's
do.
definitely one of my
Yeah.
missions. is
Comes
to-
down from places like Northampton too, and all these other great
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
spots.
That's true. Well, Ryan, good to have you on.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
You're running for office.
it. I am. Yep. Yep.
You're running as an independent
I am. Yep. That's correct.
for state representative.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And what district?
Wyndham 3.
Okay. So what does that encompass?
Well, they redistricted, so right now we are Rockingham, and we are Rockingham, Westminster, and Brookline, I believe. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's yep.
And there are two representatives, right? That will be.
There's two. Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
And you're running as an independent,
Yep. Independent.
and you're on the ballot.
Yep. I'm on the ballot. Yes, sir.
Good. Well, I remember we've talked a little bit about this, and we've sort of gone back and forth. I didn't know whether you made it on the ballot or not made it on the ballot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I was on the ballot last time, so I'm trying to continue with that. So,
Uh-huh.
yep.
And like you said, this is your second time running,
It is the second time running. Yep. That is true.
and Marty was saying the last
Yeah,
time.
I looked up your stats from last time just so I'd have some solid information. So in 2020, you ran against Leslie Goldman and Carolyn Partridge. Leslie got 38%, Carolyn got 36%, and you came in at 23%.
Yeah, that was a first as far as anyone running as an independent or something a little different than the same party. Which is, I'm just saying it's good to throw some things out there.
Well, that's a
Different
significant amount
Yeah,
of the vote.
it is.
Though. I wouldn't. It's not like 20. I thought. That's a really good turnout.
Yeah.
Your first time running.
Mhm.
so you can.
True. I
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah. I literally my wrist got like in trouble because I wrote so many
Really?
letters out. Literally like 3,000 things I mailed out.
Really?
And actually, half of them, crazy enough, kind of came back in the mail.
Yeah.
Some of the names on the list is sometimes they're not maybe completely updated. I don't know how they do that, but I'm not saying voter fraud. I'm just saying those
No, I
lists are,
understand. That the
sometimes if you get
addresses,
the
there's
yeah.
mistakes in addresses,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
people move on or don't correct their.
Yeah, I had
mailing
stuff
address.
come from like down to South Carolina and back. You know,
Really?
Yeah, I went all over the place. So,
So, what would you say are lessons learned from the last time you ran?
lessons learned. I would say that it's hard to run during a pandemic. That's true.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I would say that lessons learned. Well, you know, just timing is, you know, you got to be, you know, people are very busy, and in elections you have to, you know, yeah. I mean, I learned that, you know, so many things, and just that. I mean, I would. You know, just that you got to keep with the message, and it was a consistent a message, and I think that just be consistent and keep saying the same thing, because that and what you just, you know, talk about what you truly believe in. So and that's what I did. So I think I learned a lot, and I just think that I have to, you know, continue with, you know, I accept the fact that I did not win.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But I'm not going to really give up. But, you know, I don't
Well,
plan
no.
to give up
I mean,
anything. So.
didn't Abraham Lincoln lose like
I
everything
think he lost.
lost?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, and then
Like he lost almost
God bless him.
every office he ran for until he ran for president.
Yeah.
He didn't win.
That is true. I've been to both his house in Kentucky, his childhood home, and his gravesite in Illinois, and Ford's Theater.
Yeah.
A bit of a
really?
Lincoln
Good.
fan, yeah.
Well, you were telling me earlier that timing was important because you sort of
People
did
are very
things
busy,
too early
and
last time, and maybe people got your message, but then maybe
I think I have a good message, but obviously, you know, people are very busy, and you know, you have to just make sure so many things are going in people's lives today, so you have to you know, always be connecting, and you know,
Yeah.
and that's, you know, as a state rep, you know, I would take people's message with me and bring it up to Montpelier.
So what would you say your message is? Why are you running, and what do you wish to accomplish when you get to the State House?
Yeah, it's really the you know, again, the same message. I want to make Vermont a very livable place. You know, we have kind of high property taxes, and small businesses are important, and you know, trying to get as many jobs here as possible. I love how we're big on the environment and everything like that, so it's fantastic. You know, so yeah, I mean, I have so many friends in you know, from high school that didn't really stay around because you know, sometimes it is hard to find certain jobs that if you're looking for here and so forth. So yeah, so just make Vermont a livable place.
What do you think would be a good, what kind of jobs do you think you could bring into Vermont?
Into Vermont, well, I think you know, small businesses and everything, and you know, I understand Act 250 is you know, a very pro-environment law, but I also believe that you know, maybe we could have a little bit more manufacturing jobs in Vermont, but you know, without hurting the environment. You know, I know we don't have billboards in Vermont either, do we?
Right, we do not.
So,
No, and thankful for that.
yeah.
So where would you put yourself on the political spectrum as far as from being very conservative to
Very liberal.
Very liberal, but maybe like if Phil Scott, I would say he's a centrist. Would you agree?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And then there are more progressives than at least I get the feeling that Vermont is more of a progressive state than a conservative state. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Definitely. I think we might be the most progressive state in the country, perhaps.
And I would wear that as a badge of honor. But, where do you put yourself? Are you to the right or to the left of Phil Scott?
Well, I really like not to have a party. That's why I've kind of
but even without a party,
Yeah.
you have beliefs.
Yeah.
And are they? Would you say they're conservative beliefs or liberal beliefs, or are you progressive or?
like we look at the founding fathers. They didn't really believe in parties because they thought it'd be a lot of gridlock and so forth. So I got that. But I would say I'm fiscally conservative a bit. I think. And I would say that I'm a constitutional kind of person, and but again, I mean, I love how Vermont. I think our healthcare system is really good here, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think we take care of our people, and I think upwards of over 90% of people have health coverage in Vermont, so that's great. So I'm a little bit on all over the board. That's not the greatest answer, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm an independent, and so yeah, I'm an independent. I want to have responsible spending, and maybe I'm a little more less conservative in the world of healthcare in some ways. Like again, I think no one should be dying in this country because they're sick. They
I
should be
agree.
taken
I
care
agree
of, so.
totally. Yes.
Might be helpful because maybe not everybody knows you, Ryan. If we back up a little bit and tell the community a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Well, the one thing that sticks out the most is that I ate 4 bananas in a minute about 20 years ago on the Fax TV live auction. That was really crazy, wasn't it?
That was a while ago.
Yeah. That's not actually my only moment of fame, believe it or not. I've had 1 or 2, 3. Today,
you
it's
had
easy.
your own show, right?
I had that, and I pretty much today, just like here, you can call into. It's nice if you ever want to be TV, you can call into like national TV shows and stuff like that. When I was a baby, I was actually I was on a toy box, a Johnson & Johnson toy box sold in Toys R Us stores and in the Family Circle magazine. So I guess you can count that as a moment of fame. I don't remember it because I was a baby, but I don't know if it's as big.
So
as,
you were a model?
I was a baby model, yeah.
Really?
So,
I didn't know
believe it or
that.
not, I'm about as ugly as they get today. But I don't know where those looks went, but they are long gone. But yeah, so
So you were a baby model.
I was, yeah.
Then you grew up to be a record breaker, a Guinness Book of World Records record holder. Is
All that stems from in life. I recommend getting one of those lists that you want to, everything you want to do, write it
Yeah.
down, and that's where that banana thing came from.
Really?
I happened to be on the list. Came down here, talked to Jake, and he says, "Oh, do it at the live TV auction." And I just consented for some reason. The next thing that was pretty crazy. So.
we should have had a clip of that.
We should have had that clip. We could have found it in the Fact TV archives.
Yeah,
But,
it's on there somewhere.
You were born in Brooklyn,
I was, yep.
but you came. How did you come to Vermont then?
I came up with my family. My mother always wanted to live in Vermont, and I think it was the Sound of Music movie.
Oh,
Or
really?
something like that inspired her. So she says, "I got to live in Vermont." And whether she knows it or not, I think secretly people sometimes just want to get out of the city. It gets to you, all the horns, the cars, the traffic, everything going on, the mayhem of the city. So I'm sure, I think a lot of people don't stay forever in New York City.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of New Yorkers in Vermont. You see that all the time.
Yeah.
And they're skiing at the ski mountains, and they love to come up here. The peace and quiet is just awesome for them. So
So, but you went to school in Bellows Falls, right?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Went to Bellows Falls Union High School. That's correct.
And when did you graduate?
2002.
Yeah.
I always have to throw that in. You have to know what class you were.
Well, yeah, that's
It's part of the culture.
part of the culture
Yeah.
of Bellows Falls. So you're you are basically a hometown
Yeah.
person, even though
Mhm.
I'm sure that the purist in Vermont, Marty might say, "Well, you are from Brooklyn."
It's true.
But
then,
you were
True.
raised here and you
Yeah.
graduated here, and you've lived here ever since, right?
Yeah. And then from high school, I went on to our wonderful community college in Vermont.
Uh-huh.
I graduated from there in 2005, and then I went on to Keene State. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And I graduated from there, and then with my bachelor's in psychology, and then I went on to Antioch, and then in between that time, I joined the Navy. And,
Oh, really? I
yeah,
didn't know that.
Yep. So
How long were you in the Navy?
I was in the reserves for 8 years. So.
Wow.
And I know I did know. Obviously, you were in the Air Force, and I remember that from last time. We had talked about that, right? So.
Yeah.
So what's your guys' number one issue as Vermonters? If I was to be elected, what would you want me to bring to Montpelier? I understand that's what this is all about. You know,
Right,
you work
right.
for the
Well,
people, so
me
and you guys
pers-
are people. So what is you are the people right here. So
I guess me personally would be, again, healthcare. I think healthcare is good in Vermont, but I think it could be better. I think we should move toward a more universal healthcare. I happen to have Medicare, so I'm on universal healthcare, and I think it's fantastic, and I don't understand why it isn't the same for everyone else.
it seems as though I know Springfield Hospital was struggling for a while. I think they're kind of coming back, right?
I think
As far
so.
as,
I think so,
Mark?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean they
Yep.
were kind of bankrupt at a moment in time, right?
I don't know whether they're out of bankruptcy. I think they still might be in bankruptcy.
I'm
really?
not sure
Okay.
where they're at right
They're
now.
close to.
It's tough
yeah,
because
they're-
it was right in the middle of the pandemic that all that happened,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then the healthcare industry just got slammed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I guess if you were to go, I would want you to advocate for Bellows Falls as far as getting more development money and more maybe preservation money, because they're
Oh, yeah.
things that I think are very important, and they play into where Bellows Falls is right now. I think it's a vibrant community that has managed to preserve or develop. I don't know what the right word is, but the downtown is genuinely unique in much of.
And its
New England.
vibrancy, I think,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's pretty much a historic downtown that is still vibrant, whereas there's a lot of historic downtowns, especially in Vermont, that aren't so
It
much.
just- yeah,
there's- they got the buildings, but the buildings are old, or
I think
I hate to kick Springfield, but it's an example of that. I think it got a lot of in the 80s, in the 70s. It decided that it wanted to build this out of town development, and now it's like all of that stuff has collapsed, and it's collapsed it's not been able to maintain a core downtown.
they're a little bit better than they were. They're trying to. I think they're where we were probably many years ago, and
Yeah.
they're trying to start that because it's such. I mean, it's got that beautiful the river running through it, and
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the visuals, but. Yeah, I think that's a super point, is especially going to Montpelier, is it seems like a lot of things in Montpelier are from Montpelier up,
Yeah, that's exactly
and not
true.
Montpelier down. And I do think that the lower part of the state gets neglected a lot when there comes to funding, when it comes to a lot of things in the state. So I think that would be an important message.
Definitely, yeah. I think Woodstock, that's one of my favorite downtown areas in Vermont.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
really great one, isn't it?
And
Speaking of downtown areas.
And I don't think that Bellows Falls is that far removed from that vibrancy of Woodstock. I actually think it's quite similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We got so much history here.
Yeah. Yeah.
The canal and all sorts of stuff, Hetty Green, and it's
Right.
enriched. I think a lot of people drive through this town, and the ones that don't pay attention don't realize what they're missing as far as the historical nature of this area.
Yeah.
Is really fantastic.
So what would you see as a bill that you could introduce that would help that?
As far as the history of this town goes,
As far as just what we were just talking about, how would you encourage, or how would you use your legislative position to enhance the growth of Bellows Falls, or enhance the image of Bellows Falls?
And you
Yeah,
have
that's
about
a
a
good
minute and a
question.
half,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Oh, do we?
So you're in luck.
well, I'm really glad we have all those historical markers everywhere. But I actually have been volunteering at the meeting house and
Oh, really?
helping to clean it up and make it
Uh-huh.
look good and stuff like that. So yeah, just like that. I mean, we went out and we talked to the fella William, and he needed all sorts of help and everything like that. So. That place is so famous. Like, I mean, it's right about.
I know it's
the world,
another
and
hidden gem.
It is, yeah. So, just talking to people and seeing what they need, and I don't know, just talking about it on local TV. But that's a great question. How would I do that? Just making sure that I mean, preserving all the history about. I mean, everything is. The history here is great, and it's still here. None of it really is. I mean, for the most part. So, yeah, I would just put the historical markers up wherever I could, and and anything that needed such a thing, I would be all for it. So,
Okay. Well,
Maybe
good.
in
I
simple
think
terms.
We're down to like seconds.
we're down to seconds. Ryan Coyne, running for state representative, Windham 3.
Mhm.
When is election day? November
8th, right?
November 8th. So get out and vote, and vote your conscience, but be sure to vote. And I think we're about done.
Yeah.
I get a nod.
Oh, I
from-
forgot to mention the beard thing.
Oh,
Well,
we'll
we'll save that for next
we'll
time.
save that for next time.
All right, bye, community.
All right. Bye, community. See you next week.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and